Mr. Minister, for this very interesting presentation of the development, and also for your warm words of appreciation for the implementers of this program. I would like to continue with introducing the other two members of the panel. On my left here is Mohamed Fadel Mahfoud, who is the president of the Tunisian Bar Association. And to the extreme left here is Mr. Ghazi Kherairi, who is the Secretary General of the International Academy of Constitutional Law and a highly esteemed professor in international law. I would like to turn the floor over as the next speaker to le bâtonnier, Monsieur Mahfoud. Thank you.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim.
In the name of God, dear organizers, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Minister, first of all, I would like to thank you for organizing this meeting in order to make the Tunisian experience known, and also the Tunisian model in democratic transition, which has been admired by many observers in the public and political affairs. And we hope through these meetings and through our meetings with international organizations that we enrich the democratic transition experience, because each one has its own specificities in all the countries that have witnessed the democratic transition. To talk about the experience of democratic transition in Tunisia, we have to recall its constituents. These were the revolution of January 14th, 2011, and also the participation of different sectors and different organizations in this revolution. And we can go back a little bit and make sure that these organizations had the historical credibility and historical national credibility, like the Tunisian League for Defense of Human Rights, etc. And these organizations during the difficult days, they were the leading or the pioneering organizations, and they were militating for human rights and basic liberties. And that was at an initial period when Tunisia was under colonizations, and Tunisian lawyers and other organizations and human rights advocates, they militated against colonialism, then against tyranny, and they participated in an effective way to achieve this democratic society that we hope for. But to move on to this society requires this democratic transition, and with all of its problems and crises. And once again, these organizations intervene to become effective in the public arena. Although the traditions of some unions in the world, mainly in Europe and especially, they do not care about public affairs, but in Tunisia they have been participating, and they do that effectively in order to achieve public liberties, personal liberties, for a democratic system where we'll have a balance of powers and human rights and we also guarantee the independence of the judiciary and anything that will give people their rights. And as I have said earlier on, the experience of democratic transition in Tunisia has gone through some setbacks, and despite the success of the first stage that ended with the election of 2011, and where Tunisian lawyers have participated a great deal, given that our association existed in the High Authority for Elections, at the central and regional bodies, and also as observers. And after this success in achieving the first free elections, Tunisia has witnessed several difficulties, and the first feature of this setback is the long duration of democratic transition. And those who were governor was supposed to finish their government and move on, but they only did so after pressure from civil society, from the quartet, and also internal pressure and external pressure, or international pressure as well. So it was also a unique experience, since we are now talking about political negotiation led by the quartet, and which started from a statement by the National Lawyers Association after the assassination of Muhammad Ibrahim, a member of the National Constituent Assembly, and he was calling for the end of the transitional period. So there was the determination also of the organizations in the national dialogue, which has supported this stand by proposing a roadmap. And thank God, after major difficulties and long meetings and very tough negotiations, this roadmap was achieved, became a reality, and it consisted in major guidelines. First, to end the transitional period, to appoint a government of technocrats, national competent people, and also that the Constitutional Council will finish the transitional period through the laws that have to do with the democratic transition, mainly the High Authority for Elections, the election law, and determining the time for election. And all of this is being now completed. And after a first success of the initiative of the quartet and the civil society determination joining political determination, and here I would like to commend politicians in Tunisia. I think they are mature enough to finish this transitional period and to move on to a period of stability and a democratic system. Yes, of course, we are at a last stage now, and we were committed to elections, and we did that through the Constitutional Council, through the quartet, the national dialogue, and through also the Constitution, which states that elections should be completed by the end of December 2014, and we are doing our best. And I believe that all political forces are called upon to carry out campaigns that will make the programs known, because it's high time for the political forces to take care of economic and social problems, especially after the political controversies and debates. And I think that political and civil society are working hand in hand, and I think, and also international organization can help us end this period and organize the election in time, and that way we will have achieved the determination of the people through transparent elections. And here I reiterate I reiterate support for the government support of the High Authority for Elections, not only through technical or logistical support, but also hope that this High Authority for Elections would have a spirit, and that it will be on the ground and also in the media, like it was the case for the first High Authority of Elections of October 2011. And within this framework, I would like to say that the elections of October 2011 have witnessed some errors, and Tunisian people and political also classes were were tolerant about those errors, and that was the success of it. But in the next election, things will be more difficult. There will be more political concerns, and so I'm calling on that High Authority for Election to see to it, including also international organization, donor organization, etc., because this body needs money. So we hope that that body will be helped to be able to complete these elections. And as opposed to democratic transition in other countries, we hope that we'll have a high percentage of voters, because we are seeking stable governments who are not only legitimate, but and this can only be done through high percentage of participation. And here our organization of lawyers is trying to set up a center to train trainers, and also a center to monitor elections, and a center to sensitize Tunisian citizens so that they will participate effectively in these elections, and to move on once and for all to a stage of stability and a perennious. And I would like to thank you very much for organizing this meeting.